Well, Shemai to you all, how are you all? For today, I've decided to show my April and May months of Project Life. I cannot believe that I'm still actually keeping up with it. I've started these sort of things before and given up quite rapidly. So go me. So let's go back now to April and May. I'm continuing to enjoy it. I catch up at the end of each month. At the end of each week just isn't manageable for me. And the other thing that's really helping is to keep my embellishments to a minimum. I see some people's Project Life and I must be honest, they are so beautifully embellished, but I just wouldn't have the time or, to be honest, the imagination to embellish them so beautifully. It is nice that because my nephew does a lot of horse riding, these random horse stickers I've been able to use up. Thank goodness he's into that, not into fishing or something. Once again, when it's a quieter sort of week, I use more quote cards because some weeks are just a bit meh, aren't they? Then, you know, there's nothing exciting happening. It's just a normal week. However, this week was a bit more exciting because it was the end of term. This was back before Easter. And I'd had parents' meetings that week. So that was a tiring time. And then, now this year is the reason I struggled to lose weight on Slimming World. And I've even got photographic evidence of it. But this was a special weekend because we went up to the Stampin' Up convention. Myself and my very good friend and teammate Tammy went all the way up to Telford, and this time I kept the badge that they give you. Sorry about the glare. And I thought, because I've had those before and I've just sort of put them to one side and then you come across them a few months later. The nice thing is about Project Life, that's the perfect sort of thing to keep. So this was when I went up to Telford, and the week after then was the first week of Easter holidays. And as you can see, it was a bit of a quieter time on the photograph front. So I've used a couple of filler cards and some pattern cards. This card here I had with the Hip Kit Club. I don't always get the Project Life add-on, but it was a nice addition this time. And I continue as well to share photos of cards that I've made. And then I describe how, yet again, I've spent the holidays with a disgusting cold. So that was the first week of the holidays. This was the second week. And once again, you can see that we did pretty much the same sort of thing. Chillaxing, walking. And I just love this quote. There are so many beautiful reasons to smile. And this was the mud kitchen part of the mud kitchen that my husband has built for school. And then this card here tells about how I went to a 48-hour crop up in Swindon with the lovely ladies. And we decided that we would do Swindon Park Run. And it was in the middle of Storm Hannah. And let me tell you, the wind wasn't behind us much. It was mainly straight in our faces. So that wasn't the best park run I've ever done. So then this is back to school time. This is week 18. As you can see, a few more photos, lots of Izzy. She's always so photogenic. We've started our reception garden gang, our gardening club in school. And this is how the garden looked the first night when we put in all our strawberry plants. And what I thought would be nice to do that each week then is to take some photos so I can then show the children how much we've done. This was my 50th park run, not my 50th birthday. Even though looking at this photo, I do look about that. This is my 50th time of doing park run. And I did it with my friend Alid from school. And it was actually a Star Wars theme because it was May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And it's a bit hard to see, but I had my hair in big buns like Princess Leia, and that's all I can concentrate on was the grey streak I had, because that afternoon I had my hair coloured. There's Izzy once again. And then on Bank Holiday Monday, my husband and I went to school and he fitted in the muddy kitchen in my nursery reception class. and they were delighted. The next day I could hear squeals as they were coming around the corner and showing their parents our new mud kitchen. And once again, here's Izzy. That's the nice thing about Izzy, she doesn't mind having her photos taken. So this is week 19. And I think I explained before that I started on New Year's Eve because I had something exciting on that evening. But in a way, I wish I'd started on the 1st of January because it's messed my weeks up slightly. So this was a leisure league race. And I must be honest, when I first saw this photo, and us girls are critical of ourselves, and that's all I focused on, was how horrendous I looked in my running gear. And then I showed my friend in school and she said, but look at how you're smiling. She said, you're smiling despite having run almost 6 miles with 2 massive hills in. And I think sometimes we are so critical of ourselves. I wasn't going to put this photo in for that reason, because I didn't like how I looked in my outfit. And then it is me, bumps and lumps and all, that is me. This one I think is going to be one of my favourite ever videos. And I did a process video for this one, where I made a little rainbow. And then I sort of talk about work a bit there. And if I ever take photos of the children in school for my album, I only ever make sure that I've got the backs of them. I don't show their faces at all. This is a bit of a weird one because I'm really into my cooking at the moment. I'm doing Slimming World and I'm trying to be really good. And every week I'm trying a new recipe. So I like to keep a record of the recipes that went well. So this was, if you've got the Pinch of Nom recipe book, I highly recommend the Cumberland pie because that was delicious. So week 20 here. And week 20 was quite an action-packed weekend because on the Saturday, Mum and I went to see Joseph and his Technical Dreamcoat in Cardiff. And the lovely thing is I managed to cut the tickets down to fit in these little slots. Then on the Sunday, Mum and I went to a card making. We went to a crafting retreat the whole weekend, but obviously because I'd forgotten we'd booked tickets for this, we only went on the Sunday. Once again, as you can see, I've taken a photo of the children in the sandpit. I tweet lots of photos in school, but again, you can't see any faces. This is my gorgeous great nephew. My sister-in-law sends me photos all the time, which is fab, and use one of the lovely filler cards. Now, all the cards I'm using are not from coordinating kits. I'll be honest, if I like the card, I put it in, and that's pretty much how I choose them. This was the last week of term, and I included quite a few things in here. We went to the Hay Festival with school. The children were absolutely amazing, and it was a fantastic day out. So there we go. As I said before, I like to do a subscriber count. So when I look back then, hopefully, if I ever reach 1,000, I can look back and see how I began. This one there, I used to run with friends, and this time my friend wasn't very well and I forced myself to go out. So I took a screenshot of my Strava to remind myself that I can actually run on my own when I put my mind to it. Well, I have no idea what's happening with my camera tonight. It's having a really funny 5 minutes. Bizarre. So, I don't actually know where I am on this page. So this one is talking about the For the Love of Pretty Paper YouTube hop, which I took part in. Then it was Penalta's 200th park run. So I took a photo. I was on the timekeeping, so I took a photo there. Some photos of new cards I've made. And the same week I was also guest designer for UK Scrap Addicts, and the theme was fussy cutting, and I was so delighted to see my name in the logo that I felt that that was a special moment for me. And this now brings us up to date. This is the last week of May going into the first week of June, and This was half term week. So Izzy came to visit me while Mum went to have her haircut. Another one of the projects I did. It was also 11 years on June the 1st, so we lost my nan. And I think also it was important to scrapbook the sad things that happen as well as the happy things to give life the balance. This was my 50th time as parkrun volunteer. And then on the weekend, I also took part in another YouTube hop for Positively Papercraft. And my subscriber count has now hit 413. So a huge welcome to all my new subscribers. And this talks about the duathlon I took part in with my friend Alid from school. My husband was there as technical support mainly on a horrendously wet day. The duathlon took place all on grass, and it was cut grass, which was probably the worst thing they could have possibly done. And out of 16 people who'd signed up, the weather was so awful that only 6 of us turned up, which was pretty good for me because I actually came third. Let me tell you, that's the first time I've come third in any kind of race. So thank goodness all the speedy ones kept away, and that's what I'm talking about there. So I'm up to date. I've started June, so I'm nearly halfway through the year. And as you can see, all the rest of my pages have got cards in them ready, but I don't always keep those. I'm sort of quite happy to swap them all around and to switch up collections. But I must be honest, I've been really pleased with the fact that I've not only kept up with it, but I'm also really enjoying it. So thank you so much for joining me. As I say, I hope this video was recorded properly because the camera's had a real funny 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Hwyl fawr and take care. Bye.